In the house is Cathy Northington, COO of Mississippi Economic Council. And on the phone is Michael Bellipanni, chair of the 2022 Leadership Mississippi Council. Michael, in real life, is the director of marketing and business development for North Central Electric Cooperative. Kathy, it's good seeing you. How are you?
I'm good, Paul. How are you?
It's good. We meet at a different location here. It's good that you came to us and instead of we going to you over there every once in a while. But how have you been doing?
I'm doing good, and this guest seat is this host seat is pretty comfortable.
You like that seat? You look good there with the green jacket on too. I love the color of the green against the blue there. It's pretty good.
Thank you.
Michael, can you hear us? Everything okay there, sir?
Hey, good morning, Paul. Good morning, Kathy.
Good morning.
From rainy North Mississippi.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be socked in for most of the day, and it's just for you guys. We're from Central South. Rest of the states looks like partly cloudy to clear, so I don't know what you guys did to deserve that.
Maybe I should have been in the studio with Kathy.
You should have been.
Michael, of the Bellipanni clan there, it's your family from the Delta, I'm sure, from Indianola?
Yeah, my dad was from Indianola.
Yeah.
I grew up in Belzona, and odds are, if you know of Bellipanni, we're originated from the Delta.
Same clan from our family who came across from Ancona and in that area of Italy, by the way. And I met some great Bellipannis a couple of years, had a chance in high school to play American Legion baseball over there in Indianola, and some great people. Let's get to this, because, Kathy, not a lot of people know about this at all, the leadership. But, boy, you guys behind the scenes are making a difference. So for all of the audience across the state who has no idea what this is, kind of give us a little bit of bullet points on this.
Well, first of all, Leadership Mississippi will celebrate 50 years in 2 more years. And so Leadership Mississippi started in 1974 with a group of leaders that were part of MEC to put leaders together from all over the state to talk about opportunities, to talk about obstacles, to put a brain trust together to do some things to build and grow our great state for everyone that's in the state of Mississippi.
So where do these people come from?
Oh, my goodness, from all over the state. We have, former Governor Haley Barbour is an alum, and so we select at least 50 people from all over the state, from up north, from the Delta, from the coast, Central Mississippi, Jackson, to have a 9-month leadership training and development, and we travel around the state, go to 5 different cities around the state every year.
So I know some of the paperwork here says, Michael, since its inception in 1974, Leadership Mississippi has graduated more than 1,500 alumni active in state business and politics, top business executives, and if you mentioned Haley Barbour, that one turned out pretty good. But what are the age and who qualifies for this?
Well, we want leaders that are vested in their community, invested in the state of Mississippi, invested in quality of life for all Mississippians. And so before 2007, the age limit was 40. Now, in 2007, after Hurricane Katrina hit, we stopped the program and to revamp it, and we took away the age. So we've had people in the program as young as 29, 30, and we've had them as old as 67, 68, to just be a part of a group of leaders that have a goal in common, and that is to improve the state of Mississippi.
I got you. Michael, how did you play into this, and how did you work your way in here? Were you one of the students at one point, or one of the enrollees?
Yeah, Paul, I'm an alumni from the 2015 class, and I have to say that is arguably one of the greatest experiences of my career. I was honored to have been supported by my employer to do this, but the unique thing about this program is that you've got folks from the extreme north of the state all the way to the coast from very diverse industries. You got representatives from higher education, from military, from the legal field, private business, healthcare, and these are all leaders in their fields, and they're all coming together to collaborate and work on projects and learn about the different areas of our state, the different challenges, the unique challenges that the Pine Belt faces, the Delta faces, North Mississippi, the coast. So just a great, unique opportunity to learn about Mississippi and help build on our quality of life and just make it more livable.
Sounds like a lot like what I've talked about over the decades. The involved resolve to get involved. So it sounds a lot like that, combining individual study, group sessions, projects, experiences in using leadership training program. You said, how long does this go on, Cathy?
Well, before we was started in January and they graduate in December. Now, post-COVID, we started in April in conjunction with MEC's annual meeting, and we end in December. We're graduating a class this Friday. 34 leaders that have been with us since April, and we've traveled around the state learning about the state, and we graduate, and they present project tomorrow.
Wow. Where is it going to happen?
Well, we're going to be in Jackson. We always start out in Jackson. We always start out in the capital city, and we always end in the capital city. So we're going to have an alumni reception at the Sheraton in Flowood tomorrow for our alums and for the current class, and then we're going to graduate them this Friday.
Michael, a little bit about from the first time somebody came to you, your boss came to you, and how were you selected, and a little bit, take us on that journey through graduation.
Well, of course, the program is sponsored by the Mississippi Economic Council, the state chamber, and my organization is very heavily involved in our local chamber and state chamber. But there is an application process. There is a selection process, so we don't just take everyone. And I was honored that my employer thought enough of me that I might qualify to be selected for the program, so I applied, and thankfully we're supported through that. So. It is a commitment. Not only is it a financial commitment from your employer, but it's also a commitment of time. We start this program, and pre-pandemic, it was 5 sessions plus a graduation session. So there's some time away from the office. There's some travel time and expense involved in it, but it's very valuable in the long run to help you learn about the state and how you can affect change to improve it.
For people who may be contemplating this, Cathy, those time away from the office is like a day at a time, or a week at a time, or how long?
Well, it's 2 days. So we start on
2 days. That's
we start on Thursdays about 10 a.m.
Yeah,
and then we'll end that Friday about 2:30 or 3. In the tuition, we pay for the hotel for that Thursday night. A lot of them, after they get to know each other, they come in Wednesday, since we start so early to avoid the drive-in. And we provide breakfast, lunch, and when they're there, they park their cars, and we have a bus to take them where they need to go around that community.
Has the curriculum changed over the years? I'm sure it has, as far as what they're taught and what the training is.
Of course. We have to adjust to the times and adjust to the needs and adjust to the circumstances and what's going on in the state. So we have the same foundation where it's built on networking and building leaders, but as we all know, leadership and the way we see leadership and the way we see the workforce and the need for leadership has changed post-COVID.
Man, more now than I think ever before, because it's just when you start looking at some regions of the state where they're not being successful, then you have to ask why. And then if you travel across the state, you get a better idea why. What are they doing that you're not doing? And that's the way to do it. I'll ask Michael when we come back what were some of the things he learned that were advantageous to being put on this committee, and also finally graduating from that when we come back. Another segment with Cathy Northington. Cathy is COO of Mississippi Economic Council. Is the big guy doing okay?
The big guy, he's doing good.
Is he okay? He's making it?
He's making it. Look, he's listening, and he's like, oh, God, what is Cathy going to say?
I'm sure. Well, let's not disappoint him when we come back. We'll throw some stuff in.
All right.
And also Michael Bellipanni back with the final segment coming up in just the air with us is Cathy Northington. She is COO from MEC. And Michael Bellipanni is trying to find my note here, but I was going to ask Michael, when you went into this program and when you came out, some things that you may not have known being a lifelong Mississippian.
Yeah, being a lifelong Mississippian, most of my life was, spent in the Delta. The second half, I've been in North Mississippi, and a brief momentary lapse in judgment where I moved to Memphis.
For which you are forgiven, sir.
Yes. I had an opportunity to visit Laurel, Mississippi for the first time. And, of course, we know Laurel is in the spotlight right now, but back in 2015, that was kind of just kicking off, and really kind of opened my eyes to the idea of placemaking and how you have folks come back and reinvest in a community and make it more livable. And I knew the coast a little bit, but to be able to visit the coast and look at Ingalls and how trade jobs can really build our economy, and it kind of changed my perception of the trades. And then, from my perspective, had some of my classmates who had never been to the Delta, and I had the opportunity to spend 2 days with them in Clarksdale and get them to understand the Delta culture, the blues culture, and how it really has kind of capitalized on that and developed a little tourism industry within the Delta. But most of all is the relationships that I've built with my classmates. Those are a network that I'll count on for the rest of my career.
Well, when you start talking about these things, Cathy, and God bless the folks at MEC and Scott, we were talking about them earlier, but I mean, the MEC has become even more important today than it's ever been. It's almost like the fire stick at a camp out. You got to get something started, and you've got to have this networking, and you've got to have the data. We talk about data all the time. People want that. They want the numbers. They want everything's analytic, and in business it's no different than baseball. But you see that every day, don't you?
We have a group of leaders, and MEC has such a reach where we can reach people from all over the state and take them to those areas that they would have never gone to if we didn't bring them together. And we realize that it's so easy to say what the coast could do differently, or what the Delta could do differently, or what Laurel could do differently, but those resources are different. The people are different. So what works for one doesn't work for others. And when we bring these leaders together and they're like, now I get it, it's easier to understand and it's easier to work on the problems when you see the foundation and what's there and what's not there.
Yeah, to be honest with you, during my childhood and as a younger adult out there, that was totally different. I mean, you didn't want anybody working. You had the competition between Shaw and Shelby, Indianola, and all of the Delta towns were competing. The people on the coast were competing. God knows the folks in other parts of the state, Tupelo and the Golden Triangle. It was all this competition, and nobody wanted to work together. And I think somewhere down the line, we understood that a house divided cannot stand. And Michael, when you start looking at the Delta area, and we know that we need to bring more industry there, but you can't change the number one thing that Cathy hears about, you hear about, and everybody else hears about. We're tired of talking about it, but we have to, and that's workforce. And you can't get by that.
That's right, Paul. And workforce is an issue that can be solved by a lot of the things that other parts of the state are doing well. I spoke about placemaking with Laurel. With me in DeSoto County, we have a strong education system, a strong real estate market, and that supports the industry that's there. You look at the great infrastructure that the coast has and North Mississippi has. So, it takes a little bit of all of that to build on what has been lost in areas such as the Delta.
And it takes one other thing that I don't know where you get it or how you replace it or how you put it in there, but pride in your community. Fix up what you have. It can be a tenant house. It can be a camping site. It can be whatever. Make it the nicest you possibly can. And that does make a difference, doesn't it, Cathy?
Oh, my goodness, yes. But sometimes Michael and I, we talk about this. You don't know what's out there if you haven't had the opportunity to venture out. I grew up in Jackson and, in Bernadette, and we used to see the Martin Luther King parade come through when we were younger, and we say, when I grow up, I want a car like that. I could hear the concerts at the stadium, and I could hear the games playing. I knew there was something else out there. And because of that, I wanted to venture out, and I did. Like Michael, I stayed in Los Angeles for 15 years, and I came back home. But we have to let our communities know what's out there. MEC just did a road show, and we interviewed young professionals and saying, hey, you're here. They said you're leaving. Why are you leaving? Why are you coming back? And they are saying the things that they're saying they want, we have them here. we just don't tell our story enough. We don't say, hey, we have this in DeSoto County. Hey, we have this on the coast. We have this in the Delta. And that's one thing when you talk about pride, I think sometimes we question it and we don't realize what we have here in the resource. We talk about it all the time, say, you know, our people are our greatest resource, but do we really believe that? And Mississippi has a lot to offer. We just have to tell that story and tell people, hey, we're here.
I noticed this one time we were talking, I think it was Leland Speed we were talking to. Leland said something to me on the air. He said, we were talking about people at the different truck stops and convenience stores and downtown stores. Never forget to even I think the way I'm paraphrasing him, but you don't realize how nice you are compared to some other people and the influence you make when a stranger comes in. Mm-hmm. Never forget that. And you never know when that turns into something that will be beyond your imagination. Somebody could do everything from decide to move into town or stay here and visit more or even locate a factory here. So it does matter, and we do have that treasure in our people. So there you go. Michael, final thoughts from you, sir.
Well, Paul, I just want to thank you for letting us have the opportunity to talk about this program that I love so dearly. This year's class, every year we work on projects, and this year's class is focusing on a project to look at obstacles and opportunities for our capital city. So we're eager to see their presentations this week, and just want to continue to build on the momentum that this program is building post-pandemic.
Cathy, your advice for the next class, or what should businesses do, or what does the organization do to recruit the next class?
Well, we have closed the application process December 1st, and we have about 100 applications. But we'll start back in August, and you apply, and what we do, we go by the census, and based on the population of each area, that's the number that we pull from each area. So the class represents the state with gender, race, background, industries. And so that's what we're looking at. Follow us on Facebook. We're working on a strategic plan for the next 4 years to build this program, to build this alumni base, 1,500 strong business leaders from around the state. Watch us closely next year on Facebook.
You're not turning too many into politics, politicians, are you?
Hey, some go that way, but it won't be me. It won't be me. We need all kinds, Paul. We need all kinds.
Yeah, we absolutely do. Well, thanks to Scott. Well, Scott has everything organized. He was an Eagle Scout at one time, back in just a few years ago. He was an Eagle Scout. So he's got everything online. He knows what he's doing there, right?
Oh yeah, he does. He has the heart for it. He has the passion. He wants to do the right thing. And Scott, this is what I want you to do. In January the 5th, we have our Capital Day. You have to come, and we're going to have representation from the business community, the university college system, and the community colleges talking about how they can work together to be on one accord for the workforce. So it's going to be pretty eager, but make your tablecloth crooked because it's going to drive Scott crazy. He's going to want to make that logo straight.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
I will say this. We have some of the greatest hometowns, and it's hard to get our story out because we have so many naysayers outside who don't know. When they do come in, we explode their expectations. But being that it is hard to get it out, and you mentioned Michael Laurel, that show, which is the new season has begun, as far as Hometown is concerned, the feedback from that has just been unbelievable because they see a part of Mississippi, race relations, activities, the way we treat people, everything else in a different manner. And that has just been a blessing. Guys, thank you. I've enjoyed it. Look forward to getting you back on.
Great.
Michael, take care, sir. Thank you.